Hello guys, I seen Eugene realized it was gonna take a lot of work to pull something like that off. So he assigned to his vice president. Harley formed a fundraising committee and got her friend on the student council to join it. On Monday, Harley reported back to student council and said that everything for the event was planned but that the fundraising committee had made a few small changes to the original idea. Somehow the motocross wrestling event morphed into Valentine's Day dance. Eju and the other guys wanted the check in the bank. But Mr. Bridge said they had to respect the decision of the fundraising committee. I'm sure the truth is that she wasn't really crazy about the idea of motorized vehicle in the gym to begin with. Ever since word got out about the Valentine's Day dance, it's all anyone can talk about at the school. The girls seem really excited and treating it like some sort of middle school prom. There's already a dance committee which really got invited to be on site. He's the social chairperson, so I'm just glad there's some more restriction on that committee because if the girl have their wife, Christina will be the entertainment for the night. Most of the boys couldn't care less about the dance. I've heard a bunch of guys saying there is no way they're gonna pay their buck to go to a dance in the school gymnasium. But that all changed earlier this week when the free candy gram got handed out in her room. The candy gram are innovation to the volunteers that dance, and the dance committee started selling them at the lunch the other day. If you pay 25 cents, you can send a candy gram the amount you want, and by Anderson got owned from at least 5 different grid right off the bat. After the first mob of candy gram got delivered, some of the boys who didn't After the first wave of candy gram got delivered, some of the boys who didn't get on got jealous of the guys who did. Now all of the Sunday everyone wants to go to the dance because no one wants to be left out. So yesterday at lunch there was a big rush on candy gram. Like I said before, there are more boys than girls in my grade this year, and I see a lot of guys are nervous they are not gonna end up with a date to the dance. So most of the boys are acting really different whenever a girl is around. At lunch, guys usually take spoonful of mashed potato and flick them up at the ceiling to try to get them the stick. Don't have even ask what they put in the potato that make them stick like that. Sometimes I forgot to look up before I found a place to sit. The girl really hate the mashed potato scene, and that's why they sit on the other side of the cafeteria. But now the boys know they are not gonna get on off the grill to go with them the dance if they act like jerk. I can tell it's hard for a lot of the boys to be mature in front for the grill. Some guys are acting out when there aren't any grill around. We're in the middle of the basketball unit, the Vu at 8. With the grill playing on one side of the gym and the boy on the other. The other day, this kid named Anthony ran forward through the Woodbury Funny Independence Dairy when they was shooting free throw. Everybody laughed except for Daniel, but later on Daniel got an on the back when they was gonna for a layup. After that, it was a free-for-all with everyone panting everyone else, so seeing laugh been awful science dance. Knew everyone's paranoid about getting pendants that's on the velvet stand-up during or basketball scrimmage. I've even started wearing two pair of shorts under my sweatpants for extra insurance. Then I've got a hat that Vice principal will come into gym today. The lecture. The boy, he said this was not laughter matter and the onion kept passing and our student would be suspended. But Vice Principal should have mastered where he was standing because some kid sneaked under the stage and got him pretty sure good. Whenever did it accept it before Vice Principal could catch him, none of knew for sure who it was, but the name they are using for the guys is the Mad Panthers. Tuesday, it's been about a week since they introduced this candy cream and I'm getting a little concerned that I haven't got on yet. I've never fallen potato on the ceiling and I have never painted onion in my life. So I don't know what a guy needs to do in praise girl these days. It seems like every guy in the homeroom has got a candy cane until Haji got on and held a crust of pizza out of the trash can if you give him a quarter. Uncle Croy was playing his computer game in a room the other night and I told him about the Valentine's Day dance and the candy cream, believe it or not. I have me some really good advice. Uncle Cry told me the best way to get a girl attention is by making yourself look unavailable. He said that what I should do is buy a bunch of candy cream and have them all delivered to myself. To the girl would say I was a really hot property. I probably should have thought about saying Uncle Croy a lot earlier. He's been married something like 4 times already, so he's an expert on relationship. Yesterday I bought $2 worth of candy cream and today's homeroom they were delivered to me. I just hope things worse because that's way to back my lunch money. Friday. By Wednesday, I will through $5 and really left. I kept buying candy cream for myself. I was gonna strive that, so I decided to actually buy a candy cream for a girl, and she had that one. Yesterday lunch, I bought a candy cream and sat in the Adrian Simpson, who sat really away from me English, but I didn't want to risk my quarter on the person, so I made sure I got my money worth. Adriana and Julia were both giving me dirty look when I walked into class today, so I'm amazing. It's no from both of them. I realized the candy cream is the only way to ask a girl to the dance through. There's a girl named Laughing Merle who seated some chair for homeroom at that I sit in first street class, so I wrote her a note on my desk. It is then cost me cents. Unfortunately, I forgot that after school detention in the same room as history, someone jumped in with an answer before 11 at the change read my note. I'm pretty nervous because it seems like there are a lot of girls left to choose from at this point. And girl who wasn't at the dead yet, Erica, he just broke up with my boyfriend. His name is Jumper Law, who is famous in our school for getting his head stuck in a chair. The janitor even had to cut the free with a heck of a sight. It was a yearbook and very thin. Erika is really pretty and nice, so didn't ask what she was seeing was when she started going out with a doofus like Jumper. She would be at the top of my list for the dance, but I worried that if things were working out between me and her, I'll always be seen about her ex-boyfriend. I would be able to get past it. The Erika Hunter situation has set me wondering which other girls might have a general law in their past. The hard they keep track of of how I got out the home in my school, and that's important information when you're looking for a data to dance. So I drew up a chart to see how everyone in my grading connected. I've still got a long way to go, but there is a incomplete version. Person worried about the boy named event wanted. I have ordered my bargain that his case a bunch of different girls in my grad, but last week he got sent home work at school because he had to kitchen books, which I didn't when now you can't start it anymore. So who knows how many girls even in fact. And girl, I'm pretty sure Evan never kissed Julia Weber because she been going out at Norwell since the 50 grade, but I've heard their relationship is a little shaky these days. So I'm gonna do what I can to help speed things along. Tuesday, Uncle Cry told me that if I want the girl to go to the dance with me, I'm gonna have to ask her fans face to face. I've been trying to obviate away that since he's probably right. That girl named Prill who I always kind of had a crush on, and when I saw her drawing from the water fountain yesterday, I slowly was waiting patient for her to finish. But Prill must have sent most of to the corner of her eye and realized I was gonna ask her to the dance. So he just kept drawing and drawing while I stood there like a dope. Eventually the bell rang and we both had to go to class. I barely know baritone, so maybe it was a bad idea to try to ask her anyway, or I should probably stay with girl who I've got some kind of connection with. The first person to come to mind was Bessie Berry, my lab partner in science, but I don't think I've made such a good impression on Bessie. We're in the middle for a Tominian unit, and for the past few days I've been destined for again. I'm really astonished what has come to that fear of the scene, so I just let Bunny to the dissection while I stand off the other side of the room trying not to throw up. Seriously, so is this day and age, I don't know why we're still cutting up freak to see what's inside them. If somebody tells me there is a hard and intense inside the furry, I'm willing to take a reward for it. I was pretty happy I got paired up with Fancy a lab partner. I remember back in elementary school, whenever a teacher picked a boy and a girl to something together, all the other kids would do crazy. When I got picked to be lab partner with Bentley, I was hoping for some kind of reaction for the rest of the class, but I guess everyone outgrown hand stuff. Goodbye. Hello guys. Even so, I haven't impressed Bentley with my dissection skill. I still thought I might have a shot with her. I don't want to brag or anything, but I have been a pretty hilarious lab partner. At the end of the day, yesterday I woke up to Bendy when she was getting her coat out of her locker. I admit I was a little nervous still talking to her, even though we spend 45 minutes every day as lab partner. But before I got a single word out, I started thinking about the fruit. So I don't think it's gonna work out between me and her. Last night when I was telling Uncle Croy about what happened at school, he said my problem is that I am trying to do this on my own and I need a wingman to help me look good in front of the girl so it's easier to ask on cut. Well, I think Rolly would be perfect wingable for me because he masks make me look good just by being himself. That today I asked Rolly to be a wingle, but it didn't really understand the concept, so I told him it's just like being my campaign manager, but for the dance. Rolly said maybe we could be catch other wingable and help each other get a day to the dance, but I say we should do this one person at a time. I feel like we not to get my situation taken care for first, because getting really a date to the dance could not be a long-term project. We have a women sing a drawing around at a lunch, but I think there's still a lot of room for improvement. Thursday, on the way home from school today, Rolly told me he'd heard from a girl on the dance committee that the girl just broke up with her boyfriend and looking for a date to the dance. See, that's exactly why I made Rolly my wingman, Elisa, in one of the most popular girls in my school, so I was gonna have to act quick before one of the other girls in my class got to her. When I got home, I called Elisa number girl away, but no one was there. The answering machine picked up really fast, and the next thing I know, I was having a message. I hit the hash key on the phone, so I could delete my message and start over, but my second message wasn't that great either. I must have recorded 20 messages because I wanted to get it just right, but Rolly was in the room with my trying to stay completely silent, and whenever I look at him, I just completely lost it. After a while, me and Rolly were just really having fun and goofing around. I know there was no way I could have a serious message while Rolly was at the house, so I delayed the last one and hung up the phone. I figure I might as well just wait until tomorrow morning and talk to Elisa in person. But what I didn't know was that hitting the hash key didn't delete my message on the girl's voicemail system the way it does now over. So after dinner tonight, there was a knock on the door, and it was Elisa's father. My girl told that's me and my friend that left any prank message on his machine, and that had a parakeet it wife and never call his house again. So I guess I'm gonna have to strike Elisa off my list. Monday, Uncle Cry told me if I really want to stand to ride single ride at school, I might consider updating my wardrobe. He said that running the new shirt, your new shoes always makes him feel more confident, and I might work for me too. The since I really don't have a lot of new clothes, I'd say about 90% of everything I wear is a hand-me-down from Roderick. Mom would say that's an exaggeration, but overstatement. But all I have to do is to check the states in the underwear for proof. I never really cared much about what I wore about now, Uncle Craig. If my wardrobe is holding my bag this weekend, I asked Mom if we could go out and get me some new jeans and shoes, so I could really look sharp at school. But the minute I said it, then wished I could take it back. Mom gave me a long speech about how kids in the middle school focus to so much no appearance, and how if we spend half the time on the academic that we do on decided what to wear, or country couldn't be ranked 25 in the world in the math. I should have known Mom would now ran right out and buy me a whole bunch of few clothes. In fact, when Mom was on the PTA, she started a patient pushing for a school uniform because she'd read some article that said kids who wear a uniform do better in the academic. Luckily, she didn't get enough signature, but word got around that my mom was the one who started the school uniform petition, and there was a stretch of a few weeks where I had to wait a half hour at the end of each day before it was safe to walk home. Since Mom wouldn't take me out clothes shopping, I decided to start poking around the house to see if there was anything cool I could wear. I started by going through Rodrigue's dresser drawer, but I don't think we have the same taste when it comes to the clothes. Uncle Cry told me I should look at that closet sometimes. Uncle Cry told me I should look in that closet because sometimes grow-ups and vintage stuff that looks cool. I have never seen that wear anything cool in my whole life, but I was willing to give it a try. I'm glad Uncle Cry gave me that try because, believe it or not, I found exactly what I was looking for in the back of that closet. It was a black leather jacket. I've never seen that wore it, so I figured he must have brought it before I was born. I had no idea that I owned anything that cool, and I'd like enough kind of made me see him in a whole new light. I put in on and one don't star that seemed and his side had bought it back when he was a phrase in Mom. I asked that if I could borrow it, and he said he didn't need it anymore, so it was okay by him. Unfortunately, Mom wasn't on board with the idea. She said the jacket was way too expensive for a middle school student to wear and that I might damage it or lose it. I told her that wasn't fair because it was just sitting in the closet gathering dust, so it didn't really matter if something happened to it. But Mom said the jacket sent the wrong message and that besides it wasn't wearing a coat, so she told me to put it back in the upstairs closet. But when I was in the shower this morning, I just couldn't stop thinking about how awesome it would be a word that sings the school. I know I could probably sneak it out of the house and put it back in the clothes later without Mom even notification. So while he was feeding me breakfast, I went upstairs, grabbed the jacket, and slipped it out on the front door. The first thing I have to say, Mom was right about the jacket not being a winter coat. That things didn't have any sort of lean, and halfway at school I was starting to really regret my decision. My gloves were in the winter coat at Mom and my hands were freezing, so I shoved them in the pocket of the jacket, but there was something in each on. There was a really cool pair of aviator sunglasses in of the pocket, so that was a bonus. In the other there was one of the those picture stripe you get at the photo booth in the mall. At first I didn't recognize the people in the picture, but then I realized it was Mom and Dad. I really wish I hadn't seen that right after eating breakfast. When I got to school, every head round in my direction as I walked down the hallway. In fact, I got so much attention that I decided to keep the jacket on the rest of the day. I felt like the whole new person in homework. A few minutes before the bell rang, started day, there was a loud knocking on the little window in the door. I just about had the heart attack when I saw how it was. When the teacher opened the door, Mom walked straight to my desk and made my hand over that leather jacket in front of everyone. I told Mom it was too cold outside for me to walk home without a jacket, so she gave me her winter coat to wear. I wasn't too happy about the situation, but at least I was warm on the way home. Wednesday. By now everybody at school has heard about the guy whose mom made him wear her winter coat. So this is gonna make it a lot harder for me to defend a day to dance. That's why I have decided my beside should it to take someone who doesn't go to the school. Why go a school to the dance? And I think I have found the perfect place to look. Church. I've heard that the students at the church school think the kids who go to public school are pretty tough. So whenever I run into one of my friends at church, I make sure to pay in the real call in front of the church kids. Recently, Mom has become friends with Mr. Strain at church because they both worked on the autumn fair committee. The Strain have two kids who go to the church school, a boy named Wesley and a girl named Laura. I've never actually seen Wesley, so he must be down in the basement with the other little kids throwing church. A few nights ago, Mom invited to whole stranger family over the house for dinner. His family, I think, is hoping Manny and Wesley with Kilk and Money can be friends with a real life person for once. But I can't see a real opportunity here for me. Laura is a my grad and she's better looking than most of girls in my class. So this dinner could really change my fortune. Friday, Mom spent a long time getting the house ready before the strainer came over. And when I took a look around, I realized I'd better pitch in too. There were embarrassing things all over the place. For a starter, we still had our Christmas tree up in the living room. It was too much work to dismantle it, so me and Dad just shoved it to the garage. There were the supper top on all the corners of our family room furniture that were left over there from when me Mom baby profit from the house after Manny started crawling. She used packing tape to hold the uppers in place, and that wasn't easy to get off. Uncle Croy was on the couch in the family room taking a nap, so we just covered him with a sheet and hoped nobody would want to sit here. Next was the kitchen. There is a pollution lit board and the wall with different cafeteria and ribbons that Mom have given us kids over the years. Everything with my name on it is the really lamb, so I took it off the wall and hid it in the pantry. By the time the stranger showed up, would taken care of all the manager's stuff, but the visit got of the really shaky start. You remember how outside Manny was afraid of some kid at church who acted like a vampire? Well, it turned out that kid was Wesley Strayer. So anyhow, Mom, Hall, and Manny making a new friend was completely out the window. Manny escaped dinner and spent the rest of the night holding in the bedroom, which I wish I couldn't have done because Mom made a fancy meal to impress or guests. It was cream of mushroom chicken with asparagus on top. I knew asparagus is supposed to be really good for you, but to me it like kryptonite. I didn't want to look unsophisticated in front of Laura, so So I decided to just close my eyes, plug my nose, and choke it down. The grown-ups talking about politics and stuff that wasn't all that interesting, and me and Laura just had to sit there and listen. Mom told Mrs. Strager about some fancy restaurant she goes to visit that when they have a date night, and Miss Strayer said that she and her husband can never go out for dinner on weekend because Laura is always off doing something with friends and they can find a reliable babysitter for Wesley. I told Mr. Strayer that if they ever need a babysitter, they should call me. I figured it's a way to go get a good visitor and get paid doing it. Mom liked the idea too and decided babysitters would be a great experience for me. Mr. Strayer seemed pretty impressed and she asked if I was free tomorrow. So I told her I was. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, but I'm sure and they'll be sitting around with the straw on the Thanksgiving and we'll all be laughing about how I used to babysit my brother-in-law Wesley when I was in middle school. Saturday tonight, Mom dropped me off at the Straw house at 6:30. Mr. Cynthia said Laura had already gone to be friend's house, which kind of stuck because I was hoping I might get to see her for a few minutes and talk to her about the dance. Mr. Straw said I should put Wesley to bed at 8 and that I'd be him around 9. She told me I could watch TV until I got him and to help myself anything in the fridge. After Mr. and Mrs. Straw left, it was just me and Wesley. I asked Wesley if I want to play a board game or something like that, but I said he wanted to go out in the garage and get his bike. I told him it was too cold to ride his bike outside, but he said he wanted to drive inside. The Straw have a really nice house, and I was pretty sure they didn't when Wesley stretching up their hardwood floors. So I told him I wanted to find something else to do. Wesley had a hog fit after he climbed down. They told me he wanted to color inside. I asked him where his coloring stuff was, and he said it was in the laundry room, but when I went to get a hard clank on the door lock behind me, then I heard the garage door open, and the next thing I knew, Wesley was running around the kitchen on the bike. I pounded on the door from him to let me out, but he just ignored me. Next, I heard the basement door open, and then a rumbling sound followed by a huge crash. I could hear Wesley crying at the bottom of the stairs and started panic because I sounded like he was really hurt.